with China's land grabs, Microsoft founder Bill Gates is the largest private owner of American
Bill Gates has been buying farmland since 2013 through his firm Cascade Investment.
Gates owns more land than all of the entire city of New York.
Bill Gates owns more private farmland than almost anyone in America. That sentence alone is enough to make people stop and ask questions. Why would a tech billionaire, a man known for Microsoft, computers, vaccines, climate projects, and global health, suddenly become connected to hundreds of thousands of acres of American farmland? This is not just a small farm outside a city. We're talking about land spread across many states, land that grows crops, land that connects to food, water, rural communities, and the future of farming. And because of that, the internet has created many theories. Some people say it is just a smart investment. Some people say it is about climate change. Some people say it is about food control. And some people believe something much bigger is happening behind the scenes. But what is actually true? In this video, we're going to look at the facts, the numbers, the guesses, and the real reason this story makes so many people uncomfortable. Because the biggest question is not just how much land Bill Gates owns. The real question is this: why has farmland become so valuable that billionaires want it? So let's start from the beginning and separate facts from fear. Reports say Bill Gates-linked companies own around 240,000 to 275,000 acres of land in the United States. That is a huge number. For a normal person, even 100 acres is a lot. A few thousand acres sounds massive. So when people hear numbers like 240,000 acres, it feels almost unreal. And yes, compared to a normal person, Gates owns a very large amount of farmland. He has been listed as the largest private owner of farmland in the United States. His farmland has been reported across multiple states, including major farming areas. But here is the part most viral posts leave out. The United States has more than 870 million acres of land in farms. So even though Bill Gates owns a huge amount compared to ordinary people, it is still a very small percentage of all American farmland. This is important because there is a big difference between saying, Bill Gates owns a lot of farmland, and saying, Bill Gates owns American farmland. The first statement is true. The second one is misleading. He does not own most of the farmland in America. He does not own 1%. His share is much smaller than that. But even with that context, the story still matters. Because the question is not only about percentage, it is also about direction. Why are billionaires and investment groups buying farmland at all? To understand why people react strongly to this topic, you have to understand what farmland means. For investors, farmland is an asset. But for farmers, farmland is life. It is where families work for generations. It is where people wake up early, deal with weather, debt, machines, crop prices, and risk. It is not just land on a spreadsheet. It is personal. So when a billionaire buys farmland, people feel something. They wonder if small farmers are being pushed out. They wonder if land prices will keep rising. They wonder if future farmers will even be able to afford land. And honestly, those are fair concerns. Because across America, farmland has been getting more expensive. Many small farmers already struggle with high costs, low margins, debt, and competition from large operations. For a young farmer, buying land can be extremely difficult. So when wealthy investors enter the market, it can feel like another wall is being built between ordinary people and the land. This is why the Bill Gates farmland story became bigger than Bill Gates. It touches something emotional. It touches the fear that the basic things in life, food, land, water, and housing, are becoming investment tools for the richest people in the world. Now let's talk about the most realistic explanation. Farmland is a strong long-term investment. It is not flashy. It is not exciting like artificial intelligence or space technology. It does not create viral headlines like a new app or a new electric car. But farmland has something many investors love: stability. People always need food. That does not change. The economy can go up or down. Tech companies can rise and fall. Trends can disappear. But people still need crops, livestock, and food supply chains. Farmland can also generate income. A landowner can lease farmland to farmers. The land can produce crops. The value of the land may rise over time. And because high-quality farmland is limited, it can become more valuable as demand grows. That is why rich investors like it. For a billionaire, farmland is not just dirt. It is a real asset. It is physical. It is limited. It can produce income. And it can protect wealth over decades. This is probably the main reason Bill Gates-linked investment groups bought so much farmland. Not because it looks exciting, but because it is boring in a very powerful way. Here is the part that makes farmland different from many other investments. You cannot create unlimited farmland. A company can create more software. A builder can build more apartments in some cities. A business can open more stores. But good farmland depends on soil, weather, water, location, roads, storage, and farming infrastructure. You cannot just create millions of acres of fertile land overnight. And over time, the amount of land used for farming in America has been under pressure. Some farmland is lost to housing and development. Some is absorbed into larger operations. Some small farms close or get sold. And as land becomes more expensive, it becomes harder for regular farmers to compete with wealthy buyers. This is where the story becomes deeper. Bill Gates is not the only person looking at farmland this way. Many investors understand that farmland is limited and useful. And when something is limited, useful, and connected to human survival, it becomes valuable. This is why farmland is not just an old-fashioned asset. It may be one of the most important assets of the future. Now let's talk about the biggest claim. Is Bill Gates buying farmland to control the food supply? Based on public evidence, there is no solid proof of that. This is where we need to be careful. It is fair to ask questions. It is fair to be concerned when billionaires buy essential resources. It is fair to ask whether too much land ownership should be concentrated in the hands of very wealthy people. But a concern is not the same thing as proof. The numbers do not support the idea that Bill Gates controls American food. His farmland ownership is large for one private owner, but tiny compared to total U.S. farmland. Also, food control is much bigger than land ownership. Food supply involves seeds, fertilizer, water, machinery, trucking, storage, processing plants, grocery stores, government rules, imports, exports, and global markets. Farmland is one important part of the system, but it is not the whole system. So the honest answer is this: Bill Gates owns a large amount of American farmland. That raises real questions, but there is no strong evidence that he is buying it to secretly control America's food supply. That may not be as dramatic as some viral videos, but it is more truthful. One important thing to understand is that Bill Gates is not personally going farm to farm and buying land himself. Most of this farmland is connected to his investment structure, especially Cascade Investment. This company manages much of Gates' wealth and invests money in different assets. So this story is less about Bill Gates becoming a farmer and more about his investment team buying farmland as a long-term asset. That is why Cascade Investment likely sees farmland as a smart long-term investment. Some people connect this farmland story with climate change because Bill Gates has talked a lot about clean energy, food systems, and agriculture technology. And farming is connected to climate. Weather, droughts, floods, water, and soil quality all affect food production. But there's no clear proof that Gates bought farmland only because of climate change. The safer answer is this: his investment team likely sees farmland as a strong long-term asset. Still, farmland may become more valuable in the future as food systems change. Better seeds, water management, and climate-resistant farming could make good farmland even more important. So this may not be about secret control. It may simply be long-term positioning. For investors, farmland is an asset. But for farmers, farmland is home, work, and family history. Many small farmers already face high land prices, expensive equipment, fuel costs, and debt. So when billionaires buy farmland, farmers worry that land may become even harder to afford. This is why the topic feels emotional. The bigger question is not only about Bill Gates. The bigger question is, who gets to own the land that grows the food? Many viral videos start with a true fact and then make it too extreme. Yes, Bill Gates owns a lot of farmland, but there is no strong proof that he is buying it to control America's food supply. His land ownership is huge compared to a normal person, but still very small compared to all farmland in America. The real story is already important. Farmland is becoming a serious investment asset for rich people and large investment groups. So why is Bill Gates buying so much American farmland? The most realistic answer is investment. Farmland is stable. It is limited. It can produce income. It can rise in value. And people will always need food. For a billionaire investment team, that makes farmland very attractive. It is not flashy like technology, but it is powerful because it is connected to one basic human need: food. So the next time you hear someone say, Bill Gates is buying all the farmland, remember this: the truth is more complicated. Yes, he owns a huge amount compared to a normal person, but no, he does not own most American farmland, and there is no strong public proof that he is secretly trying to control the food supply. The stronger explanation is that farmland is a smart long-term investment, but the concern is still understandable because land is not just another asset. Land is where food begins. It supports farmers, families, and rural communities. Maybe the real story is not only about Bill Gates. Maybe the real story is that farmland is becoming part of the billionaire investment game. And that leaves one important question. Should farmland be treated like any other investment? Or should the land that produces food be protected in a different way? Tell me what you think in the comments. If this video helped you understand the topic, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.